Welcome to the story of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Like you've never heard it before. This story isn't told by the one Dragonborn that masters all, but told to you through the eyes of many different characters. From the good and the bad and those in between. From soldiers on both sides of the Civil War. From warriors seeking honor. To mages seeking great power. To thieves seeking to get wealthy. To assassins seeking fear. And those who are cursed children of the night seeking justice. And those who were simply in the wrong place at the right time. Welcome to the story of the Elder Scrolls Skyrim, told to you by all of us that take part in it. We hope you enjoy. If you like these stories, chuck us a subscribe and your credit card number.
Hey, come on now, that's not in the script. Hope you guys enjoy. Have a good one.
Chapter 28, The Thieves Guild, Part 2, Betrayal. Solitude. The place where I thought I'd end it all. Just take one step off the bridge and end it all. Then I spend 6 months in its prisons being used by the Imperial guards. I better keep my head down low. My bounty would still be high here for breaking out. Mercer has sent me here to get information on this Phatom after the guild, through one of their contacts called Ghoulam I. Sounds like a leatherback name. I don't like those slimy bastards. All the Argonians I've met were all rotten to the core. Those lizards are up to no good. This Argonian acted as the agent for the buy for Golden Glow, so they'll know who this Phatom is after us.
So, what do we have here? Let me guess. By your scent, I'd say you were from the guild. But that can't be true, because I told Mercer I wouldn't deal with them anymore. I don't deal in land or property. Now, if you're looking for goods, you've come to the right person. Oh, wait. Did you say Golden Glow Estate? My apologies. I'm sorry to say I know very little about that, bee farm, was it? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I can't be expected to remember every deal I handle. All right. Had I known this deal would bring me this much trouble, I never would have accepted the gold. I was approached by a woman who wanted me to act as the broker for something big. She flashed a bag of gold in my face and said all I had to do was pay Arangoth for the estate. I brought in the coin and walked away with her copy of the deed. Not at all. I tend not to ask too many questions when I'm on the job. I'm sure you understand. However, I did notice she was quite angry, and it was being directed at Mercer Frey. In this business, we rarely deal in names. Our identity comes from how much coin we carry. Look, that's all I know. I never promised you I'd have all the answers. Now, since our transaction is done, I'll be on my way.
Typical Argonian. Another untrustworthy lizard. And that's coming from a thief. He wasn't telling me everything. He said a woman was the buyer and she's after Mercer. But he knows more than that. He's off in a hurry. I better follow to see where he's going or who he's going to. This brings back some memories. Those black-blooded pirates and those 2 Argonians that tried to kill me. Every last one of those bastards are now crab food. He was going into the East Empire warehouse. Mercer did say he was their contact for them. Well, looks like I'm going after him. This place was massive, and all the stuff they got in here. This would be a thief's paradise if it wasn't filled full of guards. Now I have to find this Argonian, track him and not get spotted by the guards. Should be easy enough. We'll have to keep to the shadows. If I do get spotted, I'll have to drop bodies, which could lock the place down, and then I'm in trouble. For their sake and mine, I really hope they don't see me. I need to find out where this lizard is going and what he's hiding. I know there's more he's not telling me, and when I corner him, he better tell me, or he's feeding the crabs. He ended up going into some hideaway connecting into another cave network. Maybe this is that Phantom's hideout. Place was filled with bandits. No doubt he was going into hiding once we were onto him and hired the local scum to protect him. But none of these bandits will be able to protect him from me. He better tell me what I want to know, or he'll join them.
Now there's no need to do anything rash. This isn't as bad as it seems. I was gonna tell Mercer about everything, honestly. Please, he'll have me killed. No, please. There's no need for that. I'll tell you everything. It's Carlia. Her name is Carlia. Mercer never told you about her? Carlia is the thief responsible for murdering the previous guildmaster, Gallus. Now she's after Mercer. Help? No, no. Look, I didn't even know it was her until after she contacted me. Please, you have to believe me. I don't know. When I asked her where she was going, she just muttered, where the end began. Here, take the Golden Glow estate deed as proof. And when you speak to Mercer, tell him I'm worth more to him alive.
I decided to spare him. For the sake of the guild, we need a contact here with good connections with the East Empire. I'll take my share of the loot here and head back to Riften. Where it all went wrong, I really should have put an arrow through the lighthouse keeper. I remember leaving that place and feeling like I had eyes watching me, to see a little Khajiit looking at me. While I was on the way back to Riften, I felt strange crossing the bridge. This traveler gave me a weird feeling. Not a bad one, but one of companionship. Like I felt safe around her. I didn't even know who she was.
Did Gullamai give up any information on our buyer? No, it can't be. I haven't heard that name in decades. This is grave news indeed. She's someone I hope to never cross paths with again. Carlia destroyed everything this guild stood for. She murdered my predecessor in cold blood and betrayed the guild. After we discovered what she'd done, we spent months trying to track her down, but she just vanished. Carlia and I were like partners. I went with her on every heist. We watched each other's backs. I know her techniques, her skills. If she kills me, there'll be no one left that could possibly catch her. If only we knew where she was. There's only one place that could be. A place where she murdered Gallus. A ruin called Snow Veil Sanctum. We have to go out there before she disappears again. Yes, I'm going with you, and together we're going to kill her. Here's your payment for solitude. Prepare yourself and meet me at the ruins as soon as you can. We can't let her slip through our fingers.
The Phantom we were after was Carlia. She was a member of the guild who killed the old boss. Mercer and me are to track her down and end her.
Good. You're finally here. I've scouted the ruins and I'm certain Carlia is still inside. No, I found her horse. Don't worry, I've taken care of it. She won't be using it to escape. Let's get moving. I want to catch her inside while she's distracted. Take the lead. Just make certain you keep your eyes open. Carlia is as sharp as a blade. The last thing I need is you blundering into a trap and warning her that we're here. Let's get going. I want her head on my mantle. Quite simple, really. I don't know what the fuss is about these locks. All it takes is a bit of know-how and a lot of skill. That should do it. You.
I had a bad feeling about this place. Ever since I joined the guild, I've been getting weird feelings I can't explain. Why is it only me and Mercer tracking down the old boss's killer? Why aren't all of us here? Why are we meeting in the place the old boss was killed? The last thing you do is if you're on the run is go back to where you killed the boss. Mercer looked angry, but like it wasn't towards Carlia. But me, strangely enough. And we're here deep in some old crypt full of the undead and traps. This isn't what us thieves do. We steal. We don't explore old haunted ruins. I felt like this place would go forever. Like we'd get lost down here. Was a maze of corridors filled with Draugr and traps. By the time we get to Carlia, we'll be out of arrows, or too weak from starvation. Or she'll find our bodies stuck in a trap, or bounties of these Draugr. That being said, I feel safer having the Draugr in front of me than having Mercer behind me. I better focus on what's going on around me. Keep one eye on these ruins and the other on Mercer.
Bone chimes. Clever. Something's near. Your feeble attempt to hide is insulting. Hardly a challenge.
When in oblivion would this place end? How far deep down were we? I've seen more undead down here than I have the living in my life. Damn it. This Carlia keeps leaving traps to awaken the Draugr. This woman is smart. I like her. She's got some stones going after the guild and some skill to evade us. And the brains to keep us at bay.
That's the end of that. Who's there? How disappointing.
These walls with the odd markings, I felt like they had a purpose, like they were important to me somehow. Very strange. Anyway, I feel like we're close to Carlia, very close to finishing this wild hunt.
Ah, it's one of the infamous Nordic puzzle doors. How quaint. Without the matching claw, they're normally impossible to open. Since I'm certain Carlia already did away with it, we're on our own. Fortunately, these doors have a weakness if you know how to exploit it. Quite simple, really. Carlia is close, I'm certain of it. Now let's get moving.
Something is off. I have a gut feeling I shouldn't walk through that door. But we're so close to getting this Carlia.
honestly think your arrow will reach me before my blade finds your heart?
Give me a reason to try.
You're a clever girl, Carlia. Buying Golden Glow Estate and funding Haunting Brew Meadery was inspired.
To ensure an enemy's defeat, you must first undermine his allies. It was the first lesson Gallus taught us.
You always were a quick study.
Not quick enough, otherwise Gallus would still be alive.
Gallus had his wealth and he had you. All he had to do was look the other way.
Did you forget the oath we took as Nightingales? Did you expect him to simply ignore your methods?
Enough of this mindless banter. Come, Carlia. It's time for you and Gallus to become reunited.
I'm no fool, Mercer. Crossing blades with you would be a death sentence, but I can promise the next time we meet, it will be your undoing.
How interesting. It appears Gallus's history has repeated itself. Carlia has provided me the means to be rid of you, and this ancient tomb becomes your final resting place. But do you know what intrigues me the most? The fact that this was all possible because of you. Farewell. I'll be certain to give Brynjolf your regards.
Easy. Easy. Don't get up so quickly. How are you feeling? No, I saved your life. My arrow was tipped with a unique paralytic poison. It slowed your heart and kept you from bleeding out. Had I intended to kill you, we wouldn't be having this conversation. My original intention was to use that arrow on Mercer, but I never had a clear shot. I made a split-second decision to get you out of the way, and it prevented your death. More than you'll ever realize. The poison on that arrow took me a year to perfect. I only had enough for a single shot. All I had hoped was to capture Mercer alive. Mercer must be brought before the Guild to answer for what he's done. He needs to pay for Gallus's murder. My purpose in using Snowveil Sanctum to ambush Mercer wasn't simply for irony's sake. Before both of you arrived, I recovered a journal from Gallus's remains. I suspect the information we need is written inside. I wish I knew. The journal is written in some sort of language I've never seen before. Enther. Gallus's friend at the College of Winterhold. Of course. The only outsider Gallus trusted with the knowledge of his Nightingale identity. There were three of us. Myself, Gallus, and Mercer. We were an anonymous splinter of the Thieves Guild in Riften. Perhaps I'll tell you more about it later. Right now, you need to head for Winterhold with the journal and get the translation. Here, take these as well. They may prove useful for your journey. Please, there isn't much time. What is it? He was a scholar, a master thief, and a natural leader. Everyone respected him and followed him without question. It was Gallus who inducted me into the Nightingales, and honed my skills to a razor-sharp point. I owe everything to him. We were very close. Gallus once said he felt comfortable around me, able to let his guard down. I can't help but think that I'm responsible for what happened to him. Mercer lied to the Guild, branded me a murderer, and slandered my name across his network of contacts. For 25 years I ran, never sleeping in the same place twice and carefully covering my tracks. Mercer doesn't need to die. He needs to feel the cold sting of fate as his life crumbles in front of him and he's hunted by the Guild. I can promise you, if it comes to that, and my back's to the wall, I won't hesitate.
Mercer, that son of a bitch. I knew it. I goddamn well knew it. I should have trusted my feelings about him. That lying coward was the one who killed the old boss and framed it all on Carlia. And when we found out where she was, he brought me along to finish me off too, because he knew I was a risk to him. And he's right. I'll hunt this bastard down. I won't stop until he's in a pool of his own blood. Nobody betrays me and gets away with it. Nobody. Carlia found Gallus's journal where Mercer killed him, but it's all written in some different language, and she knows some elf at the College of Winterhold that might be able to help. So I'm off to this Winterhold to find out what this journal says. I'm wearing thick leather armor, and I can still feel this cold. Who in their right mind lives in a place like this willingly? Even more so that most of the city has been gone for hundreds of years. This friend of Carlia's is in the local inn, so I'll head there, find out what we need to know, and rest for a while.
I don't want Irid playing those sorts of games.
All right, I'll speak to her.
Yes, what is it?
How long are we gonna let
Carlia. Then she's finally found it. Do you have Gallus's journal?
Keeps to himself and isn't hurt.
Problem? Let me see it. No, this is just like Gallus. A dear friend, but always too clever for his own good. He's written all of the text in the Falmer language. No. However, I know someone who might. The court wizard of Markarth, Calcelmo, may have the materials you need to get this journal translated. Word of warning. Calcelmo is a fierce guardian of his research. Getting the information won't be easy. Calcelmo is stubborn as a mule. Be careful when you speak to him.
I took rest, then made my way to Whiterun. From there, I got a carriage and was able to rest my wound. I'm off to Markarth because Gallus's journal was written in the ancient Falmer language. And there's a high elf there who studies the ancient Dwemer and Falmer histories in Markarth. He should have something able to translate this journal. But he won't give his secrets to help us. So I'm going to have to sneak around and look around for anything on the Falmer language. I was able to get into the museum easy enough. It wasn't guarded at all. But I found another one of those weird floating gems again. I found this hammer in there. Thing looked like it was worth some serious gold. But I can't take that thing with me. Another time, perhaps.
Sir, are you serious? You heard me, Captain. Our work must not be disturbed. Kill any intruders on sight. Call for backup if you need it. But let no one through.
This part of the museum had guards, and they had orders to kill anybody on sight. I would have to remain in the shadows. If I have to kill anybody, I leave bodies behind for them to find. I'd rather they not know I was here. I'm not with the guild anymore since they'd think I'm dead or a traitor, so I'll be able to kill anybody in my way. But not indoors. Not here.
Another trap, most likely. Things are dangerous. 3 of the guards died when the lower hall flooded with steam last week.
I couldn't sneak past those guards, so I had to take the lower halls. The entire place was covered with steam. There were dead bodies down here. I'd just have to hold my breath and run.
What was that?
I made it through in the nick of time, but all that splashing alerted the guards. I'd have to get out of here quick. I was almost at the end when I entered a room full of guards and a wizard. I wasn't getting past them sneaking around. I'd have to find another way to get them out of the room without killing them. When I spun that wheel, the entire place went crazy. All the traps went off, killing all the guards. The wizard was able to escape and leave the room. I think he might have seen me. This was my way out if things went bad. I'd have to climb my way down the ancient stones. I finally made it to Calcelmo's tower. There should definitely be something in there to translate Gallus's journal. I found a stone wall with what looked like the same markings in Gallus's journal. But I can't take this with me. There was paper and charcoal back there. I can use that to copy the writing on this stone wall.
Accidents like this don't just happen. Someone is trying to sabotage my uncle's research.
All right. If there is a thief, he won't leave this tower alive. But shouldn't we inform Master Calcelmo?
I'll deal with my uncle. Just go. Scour this place from top to bottom.
I was able to copy over the markings just in the nick of time. That trap going off alerted this wizard. I better disappear from Markarth and get back to Winterhold.
Where do you want to go? Climb and back, and we'll be off. Oh, steady.
It took half the day to get back, but I welcomed the sleep on the way to Winterhold. Time to give this translation to Enther.
Back, eh? And how was our friend Calcelmo? Was there something else? I suppose it would be inappropriate of me to ask how you obtained this, so I simply won't. A rubbing, eh? Odd. I expected notes. I understand. Now, let me take a good look at this. Over here, please. This is intriguing, but highly disturbing. It appears that Gallus had suspicions about Mercer Frey's allegiance to the Guild for months. Gallus had begun to uncover what he calls an unduly lavish lifestyle replete with spending vast amounts of gold on personal pleasures.
Does the journal say where this wealth came from?
Yes, Gallus seems certain that Mercer had been removing funds from the Guild's treasury without anyone's knowledge.
Anything else, Enther? Anything about the Nightingales?
Yes, here it is. The last few pages seem to describe the failure of the Nightingales, although it doesn't go into great detail. Gallus also repeatedly mentions his strong belief that Mercer desecrated something known as the Twilight Sepulchre.
Shadows preserve us, so it's true.
I'm not familiar with the Twilight Sepulchre. What is it? What's Mercer Frey done?
I'm sorry, Enther. I can't say. All that matters is we deliver your translation to the Guild immediately. Farewell, Enther. Words can't express.
It's all right, Carlia. You don't have to say a word. Listen, All I want is the truth to be revealed to the Guild. They respected Carlia, and she deserves better. Do whatever you can, and I'd consider it a personal favor. If trying to rid yourself of stolen goods becomes a burden and you find yourself in Winterhold, visit me at the college. I've been known to handle items of questionable interest from time to time, and I'll see what I can do. If you have further need of me, you can find me in the college.
We must hasten to Riften before Mercer can do any more damage to the Guild. You've come this far, so I see no harm in concealing it any longer. The Twilight Sepulchre is the temple to Nocturnal. It's what the Nightingales are sworn to protect with their lives. Everything that represents Nocturnal's influence is contained within the walls of the Sepulchre. Now it seems Mercer's broken his oath with Nocturnal and defiled the very thing he swore to protect. I felt the same way when Gallus first revealed these things to me. I think given time you'll understand what I mean. As a Nightingale, I've been sworn to secrecy regarding the Sepulchre. I know the Guild doesn't do much to foster faith, but I'm going to have to ask that you continue to trust me. I'll make for Riften and scout the situation, see if I can discover what Mercer's up to. When you're ready, meet me at the Ragged Flagon. In the meantime, I wanted you to have this. It belonged to Gallus, but given the circumstances, I think he'd approve. If the Guild isn't willing to listen to reason, you might have to.
We had the proof we needed to prove Mercer was the one that killed Gallus, and that he has been stealing from the vaults. Now we just had to convince the Thieves Guild of Carlia's innocence, without taking an arrow from the shadows.
I'm glad you're here. I think some of these people are beginning to suspect who I am. Are you ready to face the Guild? Keep your eyes open. I'm not sure what to expect when we enter the cistern.
They knew she was here for sure. The bar was empty. They were waiting for us in the cistern.
You better have a damn good reason to be here with that murderer.
Please, lower your weapons so we can speak. I have proof that you've all been misled.
No tricks, Carlia, or I'll cut you down where you stand. Now what's this so-called proof you speak of?
I have Gallus's journal. I think you'll find its contents disturbing.
Let me see. No, it can't be. This can't be true. I've known Mercer too long.
It's true, Brynjolf. Every word. Mercer's been stealing from the Guild for years, right under your noses.
There's only one way to find out if what the lass says is true. Delvin, I'll need you to open the vault.
Wait just a blessed moment, Bryn. What's in that book? What did it say?
It says Mercer's been stealing from a vault for years. Gallus was looking into it before he was murdered.
How can Mercer open up a vault that needs 2 keys? It's impossible.
Mercer had something that helped him unlock doors. I saw it with my own eyes. He unlocked 2 doors without their keys, or picking them open. Something very useful to a thief.
What's she all about?
And Carlia knew what it was, but told none of us what it was. The bosses didn't believe us that Mercer was stealing from the vaults, because you needed 2 keys to unlock the doors. A sort of safeguard against thieves.
Use my key, but the vault's still locked up tighter than a drum. Now use yours.
It's gone. Everything's gone. Get in here, all of you.
The gold. It's yours. It's all gone.
That son of a bitch. I'll kill him.
Vex, put it away, right now. We can't afford to lose our heads. We need to calm down and focus.
Do what he says, Vex. This ain't helping right now.
It was true. Once he betrayed me, he must have known it was all over. So he took everything and split. leaving the guild with nothing. I'm going to put an arrow through that son of a bitch. Nothing is going to stop me from hunting him down.
Look, before I help you track Mercer down, I need to know what you learned from Marillia. I mean, everything. I feared that was the case. From that last entry in Gallus's diary, it looks like he was getting close to exposing Mercer to the guild. Anything else? What? Nightingales? But I always assumed they were just a tale. A way to keep the young footpads in line. Was there anything else she told you? Trying to make Mercer look bad in front of Maven, eh? Clever lass. Was there anything else? Then I have an important task for you. I need you to break into Mercer's home and search for anything that could tell us where he's gone. Aye, a gift from the Blackbriars after they kicked the previous family out. Place called Riftweald Manor. He never stays there, just pays for the upkeep on it. Hired some lout by the name of Vold to guard the place. Be careful, lass. This is the last place in Skyrim I'd ever want to send you. Just find a way in, get the information and leave. And you have permission to kill anyone that stands in your way. Careful at Mercer.
Next stop, Mercer's house. And anybody in my way will cease to be.
Part 2, Betrayal. Now, again, I like these names I've picked. Phatom, Betrayal, and then Nightingale. Well, I've already made it, I just made it sound like a surprise. But, yeah, this one's, kind of like I said in the last video's outro, that this is, she's kind of thrown right into the deep end. And within the space of, 2 or 3 days of her joining the guild, she's, she's at the top of the water, and it's very deep. It's the Marillia Trench. She has gone from just, breaking out of prison, ending up, surviving Golden Glow, sent after some Phatom, surviving that, being betrayed by the guild boss, and it's just wild. And again, like I said beforehand, to me it's beforehand, in the previous video's outro, I don't like how Cricket's going. I kind of wanted her to kind of sit there and marinate, a bit like the previous guilds, like the warriors, the companions, and the mages. But again, I told their stories before Skyrim's kind of story starts, in the year 199 and in the year 200. And I think the end of the year 200, I'm pretty sure the warriors quest was started, so I had time to bake those. But again, the criminal guilds, their quest lines are happening during the midst of Skyrim's civil war, during the crazy times of the year 201. And, the Assassin's one, I can definitely do that. I can have some time baking. But for the Thieves Guild, she's kind of thrown into the mix of it, and she's thrown into the deep end straight away, and she proves how reliable she is, and she proves that she's a proper leader and a strategist, and very reliable, which kind of gives these bosses to think, man, this chick's been through hell. She's been thrown into hell on her first couple of days of the Thieves Guild, and she's pulling through. She's showing some serious grit. We've never seen anyone like that, and she's got the stones to pull through. If this chick can succeed, we might even make her the boss, and that's kind of the whole mentality behind that. Because, like I said in the last outro, my god, I did these back to back, so this is why it might sound confusing. This isn't an official guild. This is a criminal organisation, and when you know someone's built for it, regardless if they're a couple of days old or a couple of weeks old, you know that they're going to go far. And if certain events happen where the old boss gets removed or leaves, you know who you want to put in there. Sure, they haven't really earned their stripes, but they've been through hell and back and survived and stayed around. That earns a lot of respect. Again, you've got the guys in the background that don't want to lead, but they see a leader, and they want that person to lead. They'll train them up, they'll get them ready. Anyway, I'll keep this outro short, and hopefully I'll have a better and bigger outro for the last video, part 3. And I'm going to have to kind of move these around in the storyline for people in the future that come and watch my videos in the coming years, so they're in order. Anyway,